Hello and welcome. Today we have another Minish Cap open world seed. I've been practicing these a lot. I've been doing like 2 or 3 a day. Probably could have been recording them, but I've also been like catching up on anime while I've been doing them. But yeah, I'm super excited. Let me just get my tracker up for you all. There we go. All right. And I will have a timer up this time. Okay, cool. Yeah, welcome in. So today we're going to be doing another Minish Cap open world seed. The settings are very straightforward. They are open fusion, open world, kinstone spots, or not kinstones. Obscure spots are on. So let's have some fun. So I've been noticing with these that we basically are requiring more bosses in general, but less dungeoning. So in general, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking out for opportunities to enter dungeons to fight bosses in order to determine the direction I need to go. So the way this open world stuff works is essentially every flag that can be set and stays that way, like these trees being cut down, is done from the beginning for you. So basically, we're not going to need a ton of items to move around the overworld, but we're still going to need those items to do dungeon puzzles and complete all of that kind of stuff. On top of that, dungeons are going to be unrequired if they are unneeded to defeat Vati, which means that basically if the dungeon doesn't have an element in it, then none of the items in that dungeon are going to be required to get to the end of the game and beat the seed. Now, that's very significant for a variety of reasons, I'm sure you can tell. But one very interesting thing about that is that the dungeons being unrequired means that we also don't necessarily have a barren dungeon if they're unrequired. We can have something like mole mitts in a dungeon that has no element. And if we have something like that, what that essentially means is that mole mitts will be unrequired for beating the seed. So it actually like eliminates a huge number of checks if we find something like that. So hopefully we'll see something interesting like that, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, getting off to a kind of slow start. These open world seeds, I've found that it's basically fastest to just start out doing all of the random, like, nearby things to town first. We're trying to target things like swords, boots, cape very early on so that we can visit our like teacher friend and learn as many things as possible. We don't always get anything before going into town, but it seems worthwhile to just do all of the like really easy beanstalk checks, because getting to go up the beanstalk and then quick warp back down is actually really strong. So we're going to go 2 more directions. The first is we're going to go to Eastern Hills, and we're going to go down the beanstalk down here. And then we're going to go up to our friends in the sky. Yeah, so far I'm a little directionless. So we actually have 7 hearts already, which is quite a few. We've been getting really nothing item-wise, but we are getting a lot of hearts. So who knows what that means. I already said we're going to visit our friends in the sky and then almost forgot. So actually coming up here in normal rando, like non-open world, is very strong. Sphere 0 checks are always going to be like more likely to have some of the best items in the game. So coming up here right away is very good. Ooh, and that's a really good start. Okay, Ocarina at the very beginning can be kind of a good and bad thing. It opens up so many checks. So it kind of gives us a lot of directions that we can go, which might not necessarily be good because we do want to find like our sword and start completing dungeons as quickly as possible. And generally when we get something like Ocarina right at the very start, it means that we're probably gonna not find a sword for a while. It's just how the randomization shakes up. We also do have damaging items count for sword logic. So there is a chance that we'll have to use some bombs to kill a few enemies. So I'm actually going to go here instead of quick warping because I want to do these trees first. It's kind of the same deal. So I wouldn't do all of this normally if I didn't have Ocarina at the very start. But I do want to take advantage of being able to do as many free checks as possible. Again, it's the same deal. We're just like trying to target getting a sword. We're trying to get items that will help us clear more of town on our first visit. Yeah, like that. That is a very, very good check. And if we find a sword, which, you know, like I said, we're not super likely to do, then we'll be in good shape because we'll be able to get 2 checks immediately from our teacher. So unfortunately, I still don't have sword, so I'm not really going to be going up to Hyrule Garden. I feel like it's less worth it sometimes to go up there when you don't have a sword yet, because then it means that you have to come back to do Waveblade. So I'm just going to go check that real quick, and then I'll explore through town. And if I find a sword in town, then I'll go ahead and go up and do those checks. So we're going to do kind of town in reverse order that we normally would, just because of Ocarina again. Ocarina really flips around like you're thinking, because you really have to think about like what's the fastest from any wind spot rather than like what is the fastest thing to do from where I am right now. Still really nothing. Oh, I don't have bombs. Yeah, I just have remote bombs. Yeah, so you can access the treasure chest up there through here instead of having to do like the full bomb bays. And it's actually still going to be faster to do it that way later on when we get there. But for now, it's not going to be worth it. Also, heart update check. We are up to 9 hearts. I'll buy this. Just because I'm almost up to 10 hearts, so, you know, Wave Blade will be nice. So, direction-wise, it's hard to say exactly what I want to do, but I'm thinking that we're probably looking at going towards Minish. Not having bombs is kind of big. If we had bombs, then I would probably be thinking about going towards I can't jump over him. Move. Yeah, if we had bombs, we'd probably be thinking about going towards Krenel, just because there's a lot to do there. Oops. But yeah, I think we want to go towards Minish Village right now, and just do this like circle here, essentially. Especially because at the end of this circle, we'll actually be able to just, like, hop up to North Minish and do the loop through Lake Hylia. Essentially, I think this is just the longest path of checks that we can do right now, uninterrupted. I would consider going into the dungeon, I think, if I had bombs. Or Gust Jar. Right now, unfortunately, though, I can't do a handful of checks in the dungeon. And so, I don't know. The thing is, we don't know if the dungeon is required yet. So, it's sometimes really tough to figure out whether or not you want to go in. If I find like a Gust Jar right now, then I probably do want to go in because I can full clear it. But barring that, I think it's kind of the same deal. Like, I really just want to have as many items as possible uninterrupted. All right, and I know that item is a bloopy, so... Oh my god. There's Rock Breaker. Ooh, I still don't have Spin Attack either. So I need a handful of things still. Kind of on the lookout for. So this is definitely a big part of the reason why I wanted to go this way, is I just wanted to do this loop, go up here, quick warp. Sometimes in Rando, like, it's hard to tell if what you're doing is the absolute fastest route to grab everything, but I tend to think that, like, simplicity is better. Like, the easier it is for you to get from point A to point B, probably the faster it'll be in the end. And there's our sword. Okay, perfect. So now that we have a sword, we have a few options for where to go. I think partly I kind of want to head back to town, do Hyrule Castle Garden, and possibly after that head towards... Where would I head towards from there? Check this real quick. Okay, green rupee. Okay. I also want to do all of this stuff over here. Okay. That is inconsequential, so I'm going to go this way. Okay, so I was saying before that it's kind of tough to justify going into dungeons. That's really just for Deepwood Shrine. So this dungeon, you generally want to go in and just do just the first couple of pathway checks over here. Especially because, like, I'm really close to my 10th heart upgrade. And so when heart pieces can be anywhere and you're trying to get 10 hearts before you kind of leave this area, it can be kind of nice to just get that out of the way. So we're just going to do these two paths here. Technically, this path is out of logic. So... whatever we get here, we know that we need Lantern in order to get it. All right, and that's all we're going to check while we're here. I'm going to flute here because I think it's going to be faster to warp over here than it is going to be to try doing all the challenging jumps. So yeah, I think the plan is pretty solid to just go back to town, go get a lesson from our master Swiftblade. We could consider doing some amount of town Minish right now. I generally think it's more worth it with Cane of Pocky. But remember that it's generally Sphere 0 checks are way better. And interestingly enough, Minish is tier 0 or Sphere 0 in these settings. So definitely worth considering whenever you're kind of short itemed in the very beginning. This is the part where this is like Gus Jar right here. Ooh, this is bombs right here. I was gonna say, this is the part where it's like, this is Gus Jar, and then like our teacher here is gonna have like a bloopy, and it didn't matter. Oh, he had a sword. Wow. Okay, well, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. We're not going to worry about that. Yeah, and he had bombs. So it's kind of one of those things. That's why, you know, there's the old expression like rando gonna rando. Like, it was kind of a calculated risk that like, oh, there could be a sword up there. And I just didn't really want to bother with that eventuality, because like the thing is it easily could have been reversed, right? It could have been that there was 5 bombs on the pedestal and our teacher had a sword. And with that being a case, that would have really sucked, you know, because then we would have been like doubling back here. So ultimately, it really didn't lose us that much time, or any time at all, really. I think the only difference is we probably would have gone into Deepwood Shrine. And barring there being a Gust Jar in Deepwood Shrine, it probably cost us no time at all to do what we did. So we're gonna go do our next lesson with Swiftblade. And then I really need to think about where I'm going. So I still don't have spin. So even if I get another sword, I can't split yet. And that is genuinely a little bit of a conundrum. There's roll attack. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter Deepwood Shrine. Now that I have a sword, and now that I have bombs, I can full clear Deepwood. So I think it is a lot more worth it. When we full clear Deepwood, we can get a lot of information. So if we find any item that's on the list of requirements for beating Vati, so that's like Pocky, arrows, lantern, etc., and Gust Jar even, then we know that this dungeon will be required. Ooh, down thrust is great, actually. So actually, I know what we're doing next now. Down thrust is quite a spectacular item. Ooh, and we have a sword. So we know there's an element in here. So I'll mark that up. If you find any swords, there's a guaranteed element in the dungeon. So yeah, down thrust is actually really good in these settings, because you actually... wait, what am I doing? You don't need a blue sword in order to beat Palace anymore. You really just need a sword and down thrust. And so it winds up being really nice to actually fight Georg really early, so that you know whether or not you'll need to go back and do Palace later. Just a few more checks here. We know this is required, so... or this dungeon's required, so there's actually a very real chance that there's even more items in here. We've already gotten a sword, and we've gotten down thrust, so... I'm not holding my breath for too much more, but if we find one more thing, this will be an amazing dungeon. Unfortunately, this dungeon is a little bit more boring than it used to be without open world. The key situation in open world is all doors are already open, because opening locked doors is a permanent flag. So, yeah, we essentially don't need to do any puzzles in here. It's really just like... just doing a checklist of things. It doesn't super matter the order I do them in. Yeah. So once I get a Gust Jar, I should Bum Rush that, because we know there's a sword in there, so we know that that is going to be required. So I do want to go fight Georg, but I am a little bit unconfident in my skills to do that. So I might be a little slow. No, wait, never mind. I was gonna say I might be a little slow and grab a fairy from a fountain, but I'm just realizing now that I don't have any bottles still. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I'll give this one try, and if I don't do this in one try, then we don't have to like sit here and do this over and over. I should probably save. If my one try fails, I'll just reset so I don't have 3 hearts. This is a little nerve-wracking. I actually was not expecting a seed like this. Like I said, I've done probably like 20 open world seeds between the last video and this one, and this is still something I've like not seen before. This is really interesting. No spin, no bottles, 10 hearts, Georg. Oh, well, there's my bottle. Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, that's actually really cool, because now I can do this. All right, and now we should be totally fine. So bottle is not a required item for beating Vati, so that doesn't tell me whether or not this fight will be required. We are going to do... I always like to do a couple checks on the way over, specifically just because these checks are really slow the second time around, and it doesn't really hurt to do them just like on the way. Like, if I find out that this dungeon has an element, then it kind of stinks to... If I find out this dungeon has a required element, it kind of stinks to, like, go backwards and go through this area again, so I always just grab all the chests on the way. Okay, good patterns. Good pattern. Go. That one's a little tough. Ugh. Nice. Nice. Okay. The rest of this fight is pretty easy, so we should be good for now, but you know, anything can happen still. I still have a fairy. Okay, and we should be home free now. Especially if we're going to get patterns like that. Alright, that was a stressful fight. Yeah, so in open world, you literally just need Smith Sword, Down Thrust, and Cape in order to do that. Okay, so there's no... So Palace is unrequired, so we know that for the rest, nothing in Palace is going to be necessary. So actually, that's one of those situations that I was talking about before. So I was saying that if we found something important in here, like mole mitts, then we would know that we don't need to use mole mitts for the rest of the time. So I would have purposely not used them. I will grab that just for the heart refill. So I think Georg is the fight that I generally have the most trouble with. So I think I probably don't need to grab any more hearts for the rest of the run. So if I see any, I'll just usually skip them. We're getting kind of close to the position I was talking about where we might want to do Town Minish. Just because, again, like, I'm a little item starved right now, especially for, like, how deep in the seed we are. And we're, like, one item away from being able to do quite a few bosses. I'll take that. I probably shouldn't have taken that. That was a lot of time, and I definitely didn't need it. All right, we're gonna go see what Ghostblade has. We don't have enough to train with Ghostblade. We need 7 scrolls and we have 4. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're at the point where we want to start doing stuff like this. Just peek in here, see... Oh, there's a bow. So we don't know if this bow is the required one. So certain things like bow are kind of interesting. We do need bow to beat the game. Oops. Yeah, we do need bow to beat the game, but not necessarily this bow. So we still don't know if there's an element here. But I'll say that, like, when we see an item like this, it's very rare that it's not. I'll say I've never seen a bow in a dungeon that wasn't required. Yeah, so we are very close to defeating a lot of bosses. We are Cane of Pocky away from defeating Glee Rock, this dungeon. We are a lantern away from defeating Octorok in the Temple of Droplets. We are 1 sword away from being able to do Royal Crypt. We are mole mitts away from being able to It's probably a good thing I missed that. We're mole mitts away from being able to defeat... Yeah, we're one item away from being able to defeat every boss. And then Gust Jar away from being able to defeat Green Chew, which we know has an element. God, grab. Ooh, mushroom. So we can't full clear this dungeon because we do need the cane in order to actually full clear it. But we can get the majority of the checks in here. So I tend to think it's quite worth it. I don't know why I kind of took a slower route. I don't think I was thinking it through very clearly. I'm really wondering what I'm going to do next. I think it's super likely that Gleerock has a element. So where would the last element be? It's a great question. I think an even greater question is, where am I going to go next? I feel like sometimes I like doing things out of logic just because, like, it can give us a little bit of a hint on where certain things like swords can be. But I don't think any out of logic checks will be very good right now. Wait, what am I doing? I'll just go out this door, I guess. Yeah, I don't think any out of logic checks are going to be very good right now. So I think I will just continue down Krenel. I don't have a grip ring, unfortunately. But what I do have are bombs. So I can do the 3 bomb check. And I can also just do generally all these like sphere 0 checks. So saying sphere 0 checks tend to be stronger just because they're earlier on they are more likely to have really high value items. More of Krenel is sphere 0 because you no longer need a bottle to go up Krenel. So all of these checks tend to be quite strong, generally statistically. Them being strong, you know, like, it doesn't guarantee that they'll have something good, but it does make it more likely. So even if it's, like, not the fastest checks I can be doing, I tend to just want to do them. One big thing that we haven't gotten so far, which is very valuable when it comes to like obscure spot checking, we haven't gotten flippers yet, which doesn't allow us to train with quite a few of our teachers, and it doesn't allow us to get the 12 checks in Temple of Droplets. Which again, very annoying. I've also just realized that I still don't have spin. These early Ocarina seeds, I swear, like, when you get an early Ocarina, you know you're in for, like, a very bizarre seed. It's like, I think you get early Ocarina and you're like, oh, what a gift. I have teleportation from the start. But then you're just like, oh, what a curse. I can go anywhere from the start. All right, well, nothing there. So while I teleport, I think about where I'm going. I'll take a ring. And I'll take a Gust Jar. Okay. I'll do the last two treasure chests up here. Okay, Gust Jar gets me an element immediately, but it doesn't immediately do anything else. Yeah. Gets me Boomerang, but not much else. So let's go kill a boss and think about what's happening next. So I think next, I need to start thinking about doing some gambles. The first gamble that I'm thinking about is going to Cloud Tops without Mole Mitts. So Cloud Tops without Mole Mitts really sucks because doing a second visit just to do the like 5 Mole Mitts checks it's very slow. The second thing is I could go down the pre-Fortress Trail. And that can suck because if there is an element there, but there's no Mole Mitts on the way, then I need to go down that trail twice, and that's very slow. It's not as slow, and there's more checks. So I think I want to go caster more than anything. There's also, I just noticed there's an easy treasure chest that I missed in caster. So I think I'll head that direction. Ooh, I actually just realized I missed something in Sphere Zero. Okay, so actually speaking of Sphere Zero, so I missed something, so I'm gonna go do that real quick. And then I need to think about whether or not I actually want to pursue Sphere Zero checks. Because I still can do Town Minish. So, is it less risky to do Town Minish is the question. And I think the answer is still probably no, because I have Ocarina. So, like, if there's nothing on Caster Trail, I can always just Ocarina out and do Town Minish. I think that's the trade-off, is I'm gonna do Town Minish. I'm gonna do Town Minish if Caster has nothing. I think that's a very reasonable trade-off. Yeah, see, like, if I see a heart in the open world, I definitely don't need to, like, stop and grab it. Like, you're just gonna grab so many out of treasure chests that it really doesn't matter. And, like, I could beat any boss from here on out with 10 hearts or less. So I'm not super worried about it. It's the other part of the reason why I'm like, if I see any more bottles, I don't even need those, because, like, what am I going to put in the bottle at this point? We don't need any water for any part of this, So basically, bottles in open world are only for fairies and potions, and I tend to get Lon milk sometimes if there's, like, no convenient fairies. Just as, like, a safety precaution, you know, takes 2 seconds. All right, same deal. I think it's fine to go into Fortress just because I can flute out. There are 2 more checks in Caster Trail here. Let's see, what's over here? Can't see. I think that's a heart piece. Okay, we don't have the ability to... Ooh, so that's another thing about the settings that I do. Glitches are allowed. In general, glitches are very rarely required, though. But this is a dungeon where we can do a very common glitch. Okay, that bomb bag means nothing. Because there's a bomb bag in logic before this dungeon, that bomb bag is not required to beat Vati. So we're basically going on this side purely for information. So we're going to shrink down here. We're going to go over. We're going to look at this item. It's bombs. And then we're going to go through here and look at... Oops. We're going to look at what drops down over here. And then we're going to leave probably. Yeah, so those are arrows. So this dungeon seems barren, but it's hard to tell because we can't really do a whole lot in there. So yeah, we found nothing, so I said that I was going to be good and disciplined. I'm going to do Town Minish. Oh my god. So more than anything, I think we're hoping for Cane of Pocky. This isn't Vaster, I just like doing it. Ooh, I just realized we also have the wake up shroom. I kind of forgot about that. Hope I don't regret forgetting about it. It's going to be really sad if wake up shroom has like mole mitts on it. Yeah, because if Wake Up Shroom has mole mitts on it, essentially everything we just did is going to have been a giant waste of time. Alright, well, nothing on Town Minish, so... Dog food. Okay. So dog food kind of sucks. It's really just a reroll. We're kind of getting a Link's Awakening like trade quest thing going on here. And are you okay? Okay. Okay. That's awesome. Oh man, so we got a real trade quest there. That was actually really, really sick. Wait, where did I find that mushroom? Oh, I found the mushroom in Cave of Flames, right? So if there's an element here, then Cave of Flames guaranteed has an element. Well, if there's not an element here, then Cave of Flames also has an element. So Cave of Flames has an element. Yeah. Yeah, so here's the logic. All right. Only 2 dungeons cannot have an element, right? So by Cave of Flames having something that's required to beat this dungeon. Oh wait, I'm so silly. Lantern is required for Vati, so that's even easier logic. Never mind. Everything I was about to explain was way overcomplicated. The real situation is you need a lantern to beat Vati. So Cave of Flames is required. Whoops. Oh, I thought he was about to escape. Okay. Just gonna clear some stuff off my tracker while I'm... Yeah, let's see. So I can clear that. I can clear this. I can clear this. Nice. Still don't have spin. 2 elements, no spin. Okay. I think I kind of want to do a few things in here, since I know it has an element now. I know it has an element, and we're kind of item starved. We've been item starved this whole time. So Gust Jar does allow me to do short hiking now. I was still thinking about what Gust Jar could do, and that could be it. So if we don't find anything here, I could do short hiking instead of doing, what was I talking about? Cloud Tops. So saying I don't like doing certain stuff out of order. So I know that Cane of Pocky can be down here. And so it might have been nice to have Cane of Pocky earlier. Alternatively, though, even if I would have had Cane of Pocky earlier, I still probably would have been screwed without Lantern. So it's not like it really cost me any significant time. Even if it is here. Wait, no, I can't do this. I can, however, do 2 more checks here. So I might as well just do them. I'm very unlikely to come back here. Unless it's, like, very last checks. I can do 2 more. I can also do Blue Chew, technically, but I'm not going to do Blue Chew. I don't think we're that level of desperate yet, even though we are pretty desperate. Ooh, Boaterfly. Alright, well, I'm happy with that. Okay, so we were saying that cloud tops could be good, short hiking could be good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do short hiking. I think it kind of sucks, but I reasonably think it might be still the best thing right now. Let's see, how many scrolls do we have? So we have 5 scrolls. So we're still 2 scrolls away from being able to learn at Ghostblade. We still don't have Grip Ring, which is kind of annoying. Don't have flippers, don't have boots. Yeah. We're missing a lot of really good stuff. Which kind of means that whatever we find next is going to open up a lot. Okay, the dream would be that we find another sword next, though. The dream is that we find a sword next, but I'll take anything. Alright, so we really didn't need Gust Jar. Nothing there. All right, and short hiking is a bust. Quite unfortunate. Let's go to Cloud Tops. Yeah, not having mole mitts here is very sad. To say the least, it's very sad. Like, oh look, there's a check that we're not doing right now that we might come back for. There's 3 checks up there that we're not going to be doing right now. Oops, we do want to do that one now. Not doing that one. Not doing this one. Oh, this is quite painful. Yeah, that's everything we can do here. Yeah, so total bust. All right, time to start doing like one-off checks that are pretty slow, but you know, what choice do we have left? So I knew that was nothing because we checked it earlier. But there is one check here. That is nothing. Don't believe I can do anything else here, but I can take a peek at this stuff. Okay, so there is spin there. So in theory... In theory, Pocky needs to be somewhere soon. What else can we check? Sort of running out of ideas, so I think I'm going to do this bomb check that we passed over at the beginning. I'm going to do Cuckoo Game. Yeah, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel now. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel and we still don't have spin. I've never seen a seed without spin for this long. Nope. Fuck. All right, Simon. Putting my faith in you. Nothing. Okay. Well, I have fountain to do. And did I ever do down thrust here? I'm pretty sure I did. But we'll just make sure. Yeah. Fortunately, the momentum of the seed really grinded to a halt. Like, we were smooth sailing for so long, but we must have just our next check in the most obscure spot. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if, like, we find a sword down here and then, like, Pocky and Graveyard and... Oh, hey, there's flippers. Okay, that unlocks a lot of checks. So flippers must be the key, right? So it seems like flippers is probably locking a lot of stuff. Yeah, so there's a sword. I feel like I missed one. Yeah. There we go. So typically I get blue sword, I would just bum rush to graveyard. But honestly, there's 12 checks here that I can do, or 13 checks here that I can do with flippers real fast. So I kind of want to just finish clearing this dungeon. And there's spin finally. Wow. Oh my god. I cannot believe the tribulations we went through to get spin. All right, and there is one more check, and then this dungeon is full cleared. Well, full cleared minus Blue Chew. Which, you know, Blue Chew probably would have been our next check if we hadn't found anything here. Or if we hadn't found anything in Fountain. That's what I meant. I feel like here and Fountain have a very similar vibe. Okay, I think that was semi worth it. I mean, we got spin. We didn't know where a spin was, so it's not like it was necessary to get the spin in there. But it is, like, nice that we finally have it. Ooh, you know what? Kind of sucks that I'm wasting a little bit of time here, but I should go get these. They're on the way. So basically there's two situations possible here. Either this is going to have an element and we are just Cane of Pocky away from completing the seed. Or this is not going to have an element and will be Cane of Pocky and Mole Mitts away from completing the seed. Now, I'm kind of hoping that we're just Cane of Pocky away. Because I do not want to find Mole Mitts. I think this having an element would eliminate quite a few checks. Oh, there's another spin. Cool. Because I do need to find swords still. And because I need to find swords still, if Mole Mitts can hide sword, then like I just have a ton of checks to do. But if it can't hide sword, then like I don't need to do stuff like Milari. I don't need to do stuff like Hype Cave or town digging. Well, don't mind if I do, I guess. There's my second book. Ah, dig butterfly. I was hoping that would be swim butterfly. Because again, I'm really hoping for no Mole Mitts required. Okay, no Mole Mitts in here, no Pocky in here. Alright, so element. Please be an element. That would be so sick. Yes! Okay. So it's very likely that we don't need Mole Mitts to complete this seed. It's very likely that we don't need Mole Mitts to complete this seed. Okay, but I can swim now, so I have a lot to do. Yeah, it also notably means that I don't have to go back to caster anymore. So another like really big W for us is that we don't have to go down trail again. Which, like I said, like doing it a second time can be very slow, but don't even have to worry about it anymore. Okay, so I do want to point out that it doesn't necessarily mean that we don't need digging to complete the seed. We might still need it. It's just a lot less likely, but we could still, like, you know, at any one of these checks that we're doing now, we could still find mole mitts and then just like need to do town digging anyway. But because we don't need to do it for a boss, there's actually a lot less need for it, and so the shuffler tends to like omitting stuff that you don't need. It's kind of crazy to think that just like at any second, like if I get Cane of Pocky right here, then like the seed is over. It really is like that simple. Like you get Cane of Pocky, the seed is over. And now it's especially over if I get Cane of Pocky, because there's 4 sword. Okay, swimming can do a lot here, but actually, even before I do swimming, I do kind of want to do these checks, because I wasn't actually able to do these for the longest time because I didn't have spin. Fortunately, we're not totally out of the woods yet, because there is a lot of checks that Pocky could still be. I do want to follow swimming checks as long as I possibly can. I do know that I don't need to go back to Pocky. Or back to Fountain. But there is a very real chance that I will have to go back and do... There is a very real chance that I'll have to go back and do long hiking. Because that is a check that unlocked as soon as I got flippers. It's a check that I knew was possible to unlock, but I really just... I mean, short hiking was necessary, right? Like, it's not like I could have skipped that. But it is going to be really crappy if I have to go back and do long hiking, which I might have to right now. Long hiking might be the next check, unfortunately. Yeah, I think it is. Unless there's something else, like, really obvious that I'm missing. Oh, well, there might be one thing really obvious that I'm missing. I actually was able to do this when I got a bow, but I kind of didn't think about it because I already had it in my brain that caster was done. Yeah. Well, at least that was on the way. What do I do if not this, though? That's a very good question. Well, that's not a Pocky cane, but it is great spin, so I will take it. That is pleasant, to say the least. Yeah, I guess... Oh, I can't actually access what I want to from here. Yeah, I guess what I'm doing is... the blue sword check up here. Wait, did I ever check Ghostblade? Yes, I did. What was on Ghostblade? I don't even remember. I forgot I needed to be on this side with Four Sword. Yep, there's Kane. All right. So let's go beat the seed. This has been a very exhausting seed. Still a very cool one, though. Yeah, if Graveyard wouldn't have had an element, that would have been very, very terrifying. Just gonna swag. Get a nice little bow kill. It's not like faster or anything. It's just fun. That is awesome. What a seed, what a seed. It is not quite over yet, though. We still have Vati. I love seeds where you don't find boots, although it does exhaust my index finger from having to roll so often. Because I do think it is kind of silly when I'm just rolling everywhere. Minish Cap Link is like a little pill bug, you know? He just like gets up in a little ball and just like roams around. Okay, so what else did I not find this seed? So I didn't find grip ring. I didn't find boots. I didn't find mole mitts. Nice. I guess notably, I also never found long spin. Oh, you know, I've been saying go mode, but I'll click the go mode button. I'm not in the habit of clicking the go mode button because I never click it when I'm just doing a seed by myself. But I'll do it. I'll do it for the video. All right, well, that one just committed suicide. That's fun. He was just like, oh, man, there's 4 of them? Yeah, going out on my own terms. Okay, very less than ideal fight here. Okay. Charge me? Oh, I forgot that I didn't have boots. Well, I guess ask and ye shall receive. Oh. Oh. Guess I messed up somewhere. There we go. That was lucky. Oh, my one weakness, aiming. Kinda got greedy there. What? Did he just hop over my arrow? I didn't even know he could do that. Cane up. Wow, how did that happen? Okay, thank God. I was worried I was gonna have to go in for another visit there. No! Okay. His RNG is messed up now, so I guess good luck me for the rest of the fight. Oh, shit. $142.48, not terrible. All right, yeah, so that's open world. Open world is so much fun. I have had so many seeds that are just like so different from any other seed, including that one just now. I can't, like, okay, so the item trading was kind of cool. So we went into Cave of Flames. Cave of Flames gave us a shroom. Wake Up Shroom got us dog food from Remy, and then dog food got us a lantern from Fifi. But okay, so the lantern was required because we had to fight Octorok. But where were the flippers again? Yeah, the flippers were in, I guess, so the flippers were accessible pretty early on. Ultimately, flippers were in wait, where were they? Oh, they were in Fountain. Okay, so flippers brought us to Fountain, which then got us a sword in Vale Falls. Which got us the cane also in Vale Falls. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So this sword that I was looking for and the cane of Pocky that I was looking for were both in Vale Falls. And then the Four Sword... Where was Four Sword? Because I remember making a comment that, like, oh, the seed is over if I think it was... It was on swimming in Lake Hylia, if I'm remembering correct. Either way, that was a really fun seed. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you all enjoyed it too. If you did, consider hitting the like button and subscribing and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to keep begging for this kind of thing. All right, enjoy your weekends, and yeah, that was awesome. All right, let's do this again soon. See ya.